What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Team Round Review. We're back. We obviously didn't do a live stream on Watch Along on Saturday night. Apologies if anyone was waiting for that. I was just not in the right headspace. I just couldn't do it. I was so annoyed with fantasy over the weekend, but that's okay. We're back. We're going to do round review now, and hopefully back to normality this week. So apologies, as I said again, if anyone was waiting for the live watch along. But we had a score of 1929, which was a round rank of 6,194, overall rank of 2,843, which put me up 428 spots, which I'm pretty shocked with, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to be moving up. I actually thought this is going to be a round, which we'll get into with a couple of players that let me down. I thought I was actually going to be taking a bit of a nosedive in the rankings. I thought I was going to be 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8K, depending on how it went. But had some players today, obviously recording this Sunday night, had some players stand up for me on the Sunday, which was nice. So we sort of salvaged around, and it's good to see like arrow in the right direction. We still move up. We're in the top 3K now, heading towards the top 2K, top 1,000, top 500, 100, whatever. And hopefully we can keep making our way there. Team value is good. It says 1893. I don't know exactly what it would be now. 19,748. Well, you can already see a trade target I'm bringing in there, actually, in Will Graham there, which we'll go through with trades after. But yeah, I'm currently about nearly 19.9, which is pretty good. I think that's pretty good team value. But anyway, +3, -3. I'll get the negative out the way first. I normally do +3 first, -3, but I've got to get negative out the way. I normally only give this to one player, but it has to go to two players this week. Marcus Bontempelli and Jordan Dawson. They combined for 113 points. Tom Powell scored the same amount of points as them combined, right? Tom Powell's great. Don't get me wrong, he's had a great year, and we'll speak about him soon. But Bont 53, Dawson 60. That's putrid. Words can't fathom how frustrated I was watching the Dogs game, watching the Crows game, and it was annoying because the Crows won. I should have been really happy, but I was happy, but I was also a bit salty with Dawson's poor game and plenty of other things to the Crows, which we won't go into. It's a fantasy video here, but. Yeah, Bont was just nowhere to be seen on Friday night, which is unfortunate because literally a week ago, we were talking about how good he was, how it's going to be hard for some coach to get him in. Maybe he's hit probably his lowest point in price. How wrong we were. And if just in context, that was Bontempelli's worst score. If you remove 2020, that was his worst score since 2017. 7 years it's been since he's gone that bad, which is... yeah, really, really bad. And then Dawson as well. Worst game for the Crows by a fair distance in terms of his impact. Yeah, frustrating. I'm sure Bont is on more sort of fine with. Well, not fine in terms of score, but fine moving forward with. He'll respond, I'm sure. He's got a big break even. His break even's up to, what is it now? 140. So he'll be fine. Dawson's the one I've got a bit of a concern over. I'll speak about it in a sec when I get more sort of go through the players. 146 break even, 939. They've both dropped, and my team value would be looking so much better if it wasn't for Bont and Dawson, unfortunately. But they're negatives. Okay, let's get positive now because we did move up in the ranks, so we've got to be positive. +3 goes to Max Gawn, 149 as the VC loop, and I took that. Really saved my bacon because it would have been Bont captain. And that 53 would have been really, really bad to have as a captain. And I probably wouldn't be doing a video now, and I wouldn't have done the podcast last night. So, not great. But then again, if I'd Bont vice captain, I would have gone Jack Steele captain. So I would have gotten a solid score anyway. But yeah, Max Gawn coming in clutch when I need him to. 149 is a fantastic score and one of the top scorers for the round. So let's go through the individual players. As always, if you are enjoying the content around here, make sure you do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're a new goal now, so obviously we've passed 2K. We're now on our road to 3,000 subscribers. Obviously, 2,500 would be fantastic, but now we're on our road to 3,000. So if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. And get involved. We've got plenty of content coming through for the rest of the season. So make sure you guys subscribe and turn notifications on so you miss when I go live or upload any other content. But yeah, let's get stuck into all the players. So Harry Sheezer 159. I said on the pod last night. All I do is all I can hear is that Vine, like, that's why he's the GOAT, like that guy. Harry Sheezel, man, he's so good. 159, hasn't gone below 120 all season. Ridiculous. Look at these numbers, like, 32 touches, 35 touches, 32 touches, 35 touches, 38 touches, like, absolutely ridiculous. 15 marks, like, if you don't mind. Kicked a goal as well, first goal of the year for Harry Sheezel as well. He's over $1 million now. He's essentially at 1.03 million. Yeah, absolute machine. Averaging 129 after 5 weeks. That's ridiculous. But you can hear the Jaws music. Hawthorn coming up. Finn McGuinness is on the horizon for Harry Sheezel. I anticipate Hawthorn sending Finn McGuinness to Sheezel and shutting him down. If Finn McGuinness is by any... Actually, Finn actually played quite well for Hawthorn. I watched that game on Sunday. He played quite well, so he's not... I don't think he's getting dropped. But if he was to get dropped, all aboard Sheezel captain this week, I tell you that. But I don't think he'll be dropped. I think he's going to be tagging him, which means Sheezel probably not the best captain option this week. You're not trading him, but yeah, he's been great. Lockie Whitfield, 120, continues his hundreds in every game so far this season. His second score for the season over 120, which was great. Had a big last quarter to get there, but hey, we know Whitfield can do that. So very happy with another big score for him. And yeah, 120 just keeps going on his merry way, averaging 113. He's killing it to start the season. Hayden Young, after the quiet start to the season, I actually thought he might go hundreds in these 3 tough games, and he's done that, exactly that in those 3. Tackle numbers are good. The mark numbers are pretty good as well. Touches are pretty high. So yeah, he's just going very, very nicely. Averaging, 101.8. So yeah, Hayden Young has been very, very good the last 3 weeks. Elliot Yeo, 94. Solid again. Getting it done. Again, besides that round 1 game, hasn't gone below 94. This was his lowest score since round 1. So just showing how consistent he's been. Average of 95.6. He's just, again, being solid. Still got cash to make. Going really nicely. So yeah, Yo, very, very happy with him. Moving on to the next defender, Massimo D'Ambrosio. He's going to be a trader option for me this week, I think. 65 wasn't awful, but 78 break even. Didn't go down in price this week, so he is officially done with cash down unless he pops a 90, 95 plus score. And when you look at a guy like Closey on the bench, outscoring him by 29 points, I think it is time for Massimo to go, unfortunately. Zach Williams, good to see him pop a good score for the first time this season. Is that first score over 80 this year? Yep, first score over 80, and yeah, he's got 360s in his first 4 weeks with the 74, and then he finally got 91. So it's good to see a good score. Revenge game against the Giants this week. Could put up a solid score there, but it was just good to see. It was a good first half. Second half, not great. Adam Sard being out for a few weeks is going to help somewhat, with probably a little bit more ball back there for Williams. So I'm fine holding him for a little bit longer. I probably was thinking trading him next week with DPPs, but now maybe I'll probably hold him for an extra week or 2. Obviously, Sam Closey, I mentioned 94. Looks so comfortable at the level. Looks really, really good there out on the wing for the Giants. 94 and 95 in his 2 games. Sydney at the SCG this week is a little bit trickier in terms of a matchup, but negative 37 breaking. He's got plenty of cash to make. So, yeah, if you don't have him, you have to jump on this week. Reed obviously didn't play. Spoke about Bont. With Dawson, I was going to retouch on this again because I think Bont is fine moving forward. It's just a bad game. But with Dawson, it's a bit of a worry. Crows were running a lot more numbers through the midfield. Rankin, Saligo were the top 2 midfielders in there. Crouch was also there. Obviously, Berry came on in the last quarter, kick winning goal as well, which is good for him. And he came on and was in the CBAs the whole time he was on the ground. So Dawson, still don't know what to make of the game, because in the first quarter there were 9 CBAs. He had 8 of them, so he was in the midfield every chance he got. Fine, right? Didn't have any impact. I think he only had 1 disposal and a tackle. I think he had 7 points at quarter time. Just no impact on the game. Being tagged by Hewitt as well. So part of me is trying to think that maybe Dawson wasn't playing in the midfield as much because he was getting tagged and because anytime he did go in the midfield, Hewitt was going to him. So maybe they, Nixie and that just thought, well, let's keep him forward, ready for this week. Sam Durham's on the horizon, tagged Bont the other night and did pretty well on him. Wasn't a hard tag, but sort of ran with him. So Dawson, that could happen again this week. I'm going to hold him for another week. Tell you what, I wasn't feeling like that Saturday. He was a trade out, 100%. But now, looking back at it, he's got Essendon, North Melbourne his next two decent matchups if he doesn't get that much attention. But he's shown he can score well in the past without attention. With attention. So it's more role this week that I'm watching for. If he is playing as much forward as we did against Carlton, then I think I'll be trading him. Because he's going to bleed cash. Puts up another 70 or an 80 or something, he's going to drop a lot. Like, if he gets a 96, he's going down 30k, which means he could be under 900k this week, depending on how bad this goes. So, hopefully not. Hopefully, he puts up a big score and stops that bleeding of cash. But, yeah, he will bleed a bit of cash, unfortunately. But hopefully, he goes well, just puts up a solid score, and I don't have to worry about it. But it could be an issue next week that we're talking about on the team review. Jack Steele, however, on the other end, is going absolutely fantastic. 4 scores in a row now of 120 plus, averaging 121 for the season. Don't be alarmed by the time on ground here with 74%. He was involved in that head clash with Sam Taylor and he ran straight off. So he was off obviously the whole time when Sam Taylor was obviously off on the stretcher. Hopefully he's okay. And then Steele obviously was off for a few minutes, then came back on. So that's why his time on ground's really low. But again, these numbers here, the tackle numbers is what is impressing. Sorry, mark numbers is what's impressing me. Obviously, we know he gets his tackles. We know that he can get the ball. It was the marks when he was averaging 120 that were up, and they're up this year, and it's really good to see. He's covering the ground really well. He looks fit, looks great. So, yeah, I picked him as a guy that I thought could be a top 8 mid. I was thinking more back half, but the way he's going at the moment, he's got to be a top 4 mid in our rankings at the moment. He's just looked fantastic, and I think on some people's boards, he might even be the number 1 mid based on what he's doing at the moment, just with the consistency. So, but he's been fantastic. So, Jack Steele, kudos to you, my friend. You've been a great pick. Nick Martin, 85, worst scorer of the year against the Dogs. Bit of a weird game, this one. A lot of low scores here. Again, high time on ground, which is great to see. The marks were down. Obviously, no taste. He's not really a heavy tackler anyway, but the marks were down compared to what they have been the last couple of weeks. I'm not concerned. He'll bounce back. He's got the Crows this week. He went well against Port Adelaide Oval, so there's no reason why he can't do it again. Then Collingwood, West Coast after that. So a couple of decent enough matchups coming up. Nick Martin, I think, will be top 6 defender. I'm not worried. Still averaging 108 for the year, so no worry for him. Riley Bonner, 80. It's okay. Giants, tough matchup. Break-even's up to 60 now, so the cash gen could be starting to slow down a little bit. But besides that 61, he's been pretty good. So I'm fine with him for the moment, and he's still averaging 92.8. Like he's really a luxury trade, if I'm being honest. So be good when he gets defender status, chuck him back in defence. Kai McKercher obviously got injured ribs. I think he went to hospital or something. I still don't really have much of an update, to be honest, about McKercher, but sounds as though probably not going to play this week. But I think he's got to go anyway. Obviously, his break-evens, he went down, 25k this week. Break-evens at 87. So, yeah, he's got to go, unfortunately, for Colby. Riley Sanders, frustrating, subbed out again for the second time this season. Was looking decent as well. First quarter was great, but then he gets subbed out. I don't understand what Bevo's doing with Sanders. Like, you got a guy that clearly wasn't happy with being subbed out, and you're subbing him out again. Like, I don't get it. Like, they're already managing his time on ground really anyway, but getting subbed out, like, he's been solid before that. Like, so he's an option to trade out this week. I've thought about it. I think I'm going to hold for one more week to see how he goes. He should hopefully get forward status. Looking at the numbers, I think he still had less than 50% CBAs in the quarters he was on the ground, so that would tend to think that he's going to get DPP. We'll have to see, and hopefully he does. Put him at F6, and then we won't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, obviously Matt Roberts didn't play. Jeremy Sharp, 65, was solid against Port at Adelaide Oval. Comes up against West Coast Optus this week. I'm expecting a pretty good score from him in that one. And Jai Clark only 2. Disappointing. Went down, 10k. Break-even's up to 50 now. Hopefully he's just not the sub. Otherwise he's going to start bleeding cash. I would love to trade him this week. If Colby was not to be named, there is a scenario I do trade Clark instead of McKercher and just bench McKercher, trade McKercher next week just so I don't bleed cash. But hopefully Jai Clark isn't the sub again. And yeah, hopefully he plays the full game. Matt Score, obviously mentioned before, very, very good, 149. Obviously, the big man's going really well. Big Maxi, 122.5. Oh, try to keep the yawn in there. Going really well there, 122.5 average from his 6 games. Obviously on bye this week, so not going to enjoy Big Maxi this week. But he'll be back next week and firing ready to go after the week off. Richmond, who he's got a pretty good record against as well, so looking forward to seeing Maxi back. But yeah, very thankful for his big score. Tristan Sherry again, another 107. Just getting it done. It's simple as getting it done. 400s in 5 weeks. The 83 gave away 5 free kicks there. He's just consistent. He's looking really good. His tackle numbers are impressive. Look at that. No lower than 6, and that is his only game below 8. So that's what's the most impressive thing about him. His hitouts are always going to be there. Yeah, he's just going very, very well. Hawthorn this week, hopefully can put up a pretty good score there as well. Looking very good there. Barnett obviously didn't play. Flanders on debut. Finally nice to bring in a premium and they actually put up a pretty big score on debut. 125 is top score for the season. Went up 24k, break-in 85. If you don't have him, I think you got to jump on him. Looking great in that half-back role. The thirst and the hunger for the ball is there. You can see it. What he'll do is he'll lead for it. If he doesn't get it, he'll go back 2 steps. He'll lead again. He leads 3, 4, 5 times. And if you keep doing that, you're going to get the ball. You're going to get it kicked your way. So, yeah, very, very happy to have him. And he's definitely going to be a top couple of forward, averaging 105 so far this season. Tom Powell looking fantastic as well. Another 113. Up a bulk load of cash again. Break even still 51. It's not too late if you don't have him. He's going very nicely. So, very happy to have him. Hawthorn this week could put up another solid score. Zach Fisher, if McKercher did miss, I don't know if McKercher is missing or if he's missing much at all. But with Fisher, if McKercher did miss time, Fisher will get a slight bump. He's been, we are complaining about him, but at the end of the day, he's averaging 80. There aren't that many forwards averaging over 80. And his last, 3 of his last 4 scores, he's been over 80 anyway. And then the other one was a 76. So I don't see him as a huge issue. Obviously, we probably just want these disposal numbers to bump up over 25. Maybe, around that 8 marks a game would be nice. So he'll be fine. He's not going to be a top 6 forward. I don't think he's going to fall short, but he's going to be a guy that I think is going to... he's your F6 at the mid-season buys, I don't think there's an issue with that whatsoever. So for me, I'm not worrying too much about Fisher. Dempsey, good save. He was on 2 points at quarter time, ended up with a 70, so very happy with that. Keeps the cash gen going. Another good amount of cash this week. 35 break even. He's still fine for the time being. Harley Reid, I think he had his best game the previous week, but he could have potentially trumped that this week. What did he have? He had more of the ball, 27 disposals, kicked a goal as well. Probably didn't break as many tackles, but I think he could get the rising star for this week. It's just a shame if those tackles were there this week, that would have been 100, and that would have been really, really impressive. But he's a guy I think we can field at F6 for a little bit. He's been pretty consistent. I know he scored that 43 against Bulldogs, but besides that, he's gone over 55 in every other game and back-to-back weeks of 78 and 81. So going along nicely there. Darcy Wilson as well, pretty good, back-to-back 70s now as well. That cash gen going along really nicely now as well. I think a lot of us were worried after that 35 in round 3, but back-to-back 79 and 70. That time on ground, massive bump of 91%. So I don't know if maybe he was on the ground with the whole Sam Taylor thing. That's what bumped it up more. But nonetheless, it's still impressive to see he's on the field. Obviously, the marks were down, but if the marks were there, that would have been a lot bigger score than that. Dogs at Marvel is a pretty solid matchup, I think, this week. So if he's on your field, I don't think it's a bad option yet again. And yeah, 43k this week made, 19 break even, going along nicely as well. Heaney obviously on bye, but Cadman and Thomas again going pretty well. Thomas obviously good bounce back from the week before. Cadman made another decent amount of money, 22 break even, so still maybe a little bit there to work with. Could maybe go in a couple of weeks, but still good amount of cash. He's nearly 400k. He'll be over 400k, you'd imagine, this week. So very, very happy with Aaron Cadman there. And yeah, Harvey Thomas after that, 15 last week or whatever he scored. 15. 81 was really good to see. I was expecting more of this type of game moving forward. I'm not expecting 17 touches, but 10 to 15 touches a week, a couple of marks, a few tackles, a goal. Like, that's not too much to ask on a weekly basis. So, yeah, I'm hoping that that's going to be more of what we can hope to see moving forward. Obviously, Carlton, Brisbane, Sydney in the next 3 is a little bit tricky, but he's not going to be on our fields anyway. As long as he just keeps that cash gen going, that's all we want. So, and now that 81 is sort of helped after that 15, really good for his cash gen moving forward. So, that's the team. To be honest, if you take out Dawson and Bont, there's not really that many disappointments. Like, I know McKercher injured, you can't do anything about that. Sanders, that was out of his control, really. And then Jai Clark being the sub was disappointing. But besides those, probably those rookies and then the 2 mid-price, it's all the mids actually this week, to be honest. And then obviously Massimo is a bit frustrating. Most other people went pretty well. So I'm decently happy with where the team is at the moment. Obviously, it would be good if Dawson and Bont can pick up the pace and sort of catch guys like Merritt, who's going really well there. But in terms of initial trades this week, I normally say I'm pretty set on the Monday, and they normally do change. But again, I feel pretty set with these trades at the moment. We'll see if that's what happens. But at the moment, I'm looking at going Massimo D'Ambrosio down to Will Graham, putting Closey on the field this week, but then using that cash on top of Colin McKercher and going and getting Sam Walsh, who looked fantastic with 145 against the Crows. It was good that he went well and the Crows won, so that was good. So, yeah, Walsh for me, big target. I've considered Dacos, bringing him in this week. I think he's going to get the Drew tag this week. He's then going to get Durham the week after, then Hewitt the week after that. I'm probably going to wait till round 9 to pick him up, but there's an argument to be made that maybe he's not having the same impact this year that he did last year. There's no need to really tag him that much. So, yeah, there's a chance I do go Dacos this week just to lock him in. But at the moment, it is Sam Walsh because he's got a pretty low break even, which is good. So that's where I'm leaning at. But let me know in the comments below how you guys went this week, your score, your rank, your +3 and -3. Let me know all that in the comments below, and then what your rage trades are. And any trade questions, leave them in the comments below as well. I'll get to all of those when I can. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like. It does help out a great deal. So we got pretty close to 100 on the team review, and we might have even hit 100. I haven't actually checked. So if we get 100, that'd be fantastic. 50 plus lots would be fantastic. So yeah, no, I appreciate all the support you guys always show. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do click the subscribe button down below. On our way to 3,000 subscribers now. So yeah, we're on our way. I think we're on about 2040 or something like that. So yeah, if you can subscribe, you haven't already, helps that channel as always. So yeah, appreciate the support. I literally just repeated what I did with the likes, but it is true. And yeah, turn notifications on so you miss when I go live or upload any content. And then social media links in the description below at BarsDT from all of pretty much all the socials. But yeah, all links are in the description below. Bit of a special thing tomorrow night. We've got a bit of a Q&A. Me and Tim might have a special guest or two jumping on as well. So a bit of a Q&A on Tuesday night. So that's looking at a 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time start and then 7 p.m. in the West. So that's what we're looking at. A bit of a Q&A. So if you do have questions, we will answer them there as well. So yeah, looking forward to that with a pretty difficult week of trading actually. So it's probably a good week to have a Q&A, and it might be a regular thing moving forward depending on how everything goes. So make sure you guys tune in on Tuesday night tomorrow night for that 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. So, but anyway, and then Trade Talk will be on the Wednesday as always. So I'll see you guys in that one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for that live Q&A. So thanks guys for tuning in. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for live Q&A. So I'm out. Cheers.